Hey Scorpio, it's Leonie Nicole Black, and I'm here to do your intuitive tarot reading for the month of September. I've done Virgo and Aquarius now, and even though I've been reading tarot cards for a while, this is the first time that I've done a kind of general reading for YouTube. So it's a work in progress, and I'm feeling like with each new reading, I'm getting a sense of what I can do differently or what works or what I can change. So I appreciate you guys just, going through this kind of experiment with me as I do this kind of acts of service for you and open up my heart and my intuition to give us all a sense of support and insight for the month coming ahead. I think it's my Virgo nature to complicate things and get right down into the detail and the nitty gritty. So I'm gonna try and keep things a little bit more free flowing and intuitive in this reading. I think you guys kind of deserve that energy. So I'm going to get into some of the astrology for the month before I do your intuitive reading. So starting with the fact that I am recording this on the 5th and Mercury has gone direct, whoop whoop, and Mars has joined Mercury in Virgo as well. And rather than really studying the aspects, I decided to use just to kind of meditate and use my intuitive messages to understand what this might look and feel like for you guys. I feel like with Mercury going retrograde, that whilst other signs might be seeing this as a green light to go forward and to move, make communication, start setting plans in motions, I feel like you guys are still very much in a, sorry, I'm playing with my crystals. You guys seem to be still in a listening space. I don't feel like you're ready to come out full throttle yet. And I think that you should honor that and that you should be respecting of the energy which is still unfolding, and allow yourself to be still, to be reflective, to be quiet. I feel like you are observing and watching the people around you. And I think you're right to do that. I think there's still some illusions at the moment, still some things that you're not seeing very clearly. So take your time and watch how things unfold before you make any big decisions or any big communications that have been on your heart. Likewise, to the other signs I've been talking about, Mars in Virgo as a kind of energy of endurance, but I feel for you guys that you're probably experiencing is more an energy of restriction. I feel I have Mars in Virgo, and I feel like it's not the most comfortable placement. I feel like some of Mars's drive, ambitious, forward moving energy is kind of reined in under the Virgo kind of scrutiny, analysis, pause, check, balance. And so I think that you guys might start to feel this energy as another thing that's a kind of, not a red light, let's call it the amber light. You're like in this in between stage before you really forge forward. So again, honor that. That's good. That's cool. Respect the energy that's flowing for you. I should say as well that this is a general reading. It's not a personal reading. So not everything I say is going to resonate with you. This is a reading for people who are Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Rising, but also people who have very strong Scorpio placement and identify strongly with the Scorpio energy. So for example, I did a reading for a client the other day who was a Leo, but she has lots of planets and strong placements in Virgo, so she really identifies with the Virgo energy, and in the cards Virgo came out quite strongly. So if you don't know your planetary, your houses, your natal chart, your rising signs, then I suggest you go to Cafe Astrology. If you know your time of birth, check it out. When you're watching my videos, watch your rising and your sun sign, because there'll be messages for you in both of those. Okay, so we've talked about you possibly feeling, restriction from the Mars energy. Tomorrow is a full moon in Pisces, and full moons are about culminations, completions, seeing something into its fruition. Whatever you kind of planted and seeded in the weeks before at the new moon. With this full moon in Pisces, I was kind of meditating last night and thinking, what does this mean for you guys? What messages are coming out here? And Pisces is arguably a water sign. I actually agree with some other astrologers that I see Pisces as ether, as spirit. But I was wondering about the three water signs, the Cancer, the Scorpio, and Pisces. And I really see, I'm Cancer rising, for example, and Cancer is quintessential water sign. But I see Scorpio as like the depths of the ocean. I see you. Sorry, My laptop keeps going dull. I thought it wasn't recording. I see you guys as the part of the sea, the depth of the ocean where there's no light, where it can't be seen anymore. You represent those depths, those secrets that I think you guys have this magnetism to you that comes from being at the base of something real. Like there's a scripture, the biblical scripture that says deep calls to deep, for example. I really feel that energy comes forward with you guys. So with this full moon in Pisces, I see it, and there's strong Neptune aspects with this full moon. I see you guys in the space of secrecy. I see you just like you're not ready to come out and be bold in the Mercury retrograde. I see you guys still kind of holding back. I feel like there are elements and parts of your personality and changes you've been going through that are still in development. Think of it like the empty or dark potential space of a womb, for example, and think about yourself as the embryo within that. I see this full moon as you continuing to grow, continuing to let these changes unfold, and you kind of sticking in the shadows. I think you guys are being still a little secretive. I was going to say shady, maybe that's not fair, but you're definitely holding back right now, and I get the sense this is the right energy for you to be in. So moving on from that, on the 20th, which happens to be my birthday, you got the new moon in Virgo. And I'm really excited by this energy. Again, I was meditating on you and I thought, what is this about? What does Scorpio have to learn from Virgo? And the message I got was sex. Interestingly, that came out, I think it was in the Aquarius reading where I was using ejaculation metaphors. Might just be me, but I feel like there is something to do with sex and sexual healing for you guys. So this new moon is being aspected by Chiron. So the new moon is opposite Chiron. And Chiron represents, it's an asteroid, I think, that represents your deep wound, your core wound, the thing that just hurts your soul, man, that you find difficult to move past, that you've probably been carrying and carrying throughout your life. And you know, as we do layers of healing, as we move on, like that's still this thing that you come back to. For some of you it could be abandonment issues, for example. Some of you could be, you know, so I feel like the healing energy that you guys need to apply during this new moon relates to your sex life. And there are two different messages I have here depending on what's going on with you, Scorpio. So for some of you, you've been repressing your sexual energy. You haven't been very connected or expressive. You've been holding back in your sexual space, and I really feel like it's creating a lack of movement and some stagnation for you. And so my advice in this new moon is to have sex, but do it in that Virgo way. You know, Virgo, typified by the Virgin, is not necessarily virginal, but is about sex that is the connection between ourselves and the spiritual realm. It is that bridge. That's what Virgo represents. So I have strong Virgo energy, and I can say that I am not interested in having sex unless love is involved. Like, if it's for fun, I can do that alone. You know, like, I don't just wanna, I'm not that, you know, I'm not a one night stand kind of energy. I am a casual sex kind of energy. That's just not the way that I am set up as a person. And I even feel like with the work that I do, particularly spiritual work, it's really important for me to keep that space clear. And so I think, guys, that you should take note from Virgo in that sense. And so yes, go ahead and have sex, but you want to be having really connected sex that is going to be expansive for you, that's going to bring you emotional, mental healing. And sex can do that. You know, sex really can do that. So go ahead, let yourself be free. I feel like it's going to open up some stuff for you. I think it's going to get this next season, this autumnal season, moving, some of the changes that you need to see happen. I think sex is going to be helpful in shaking some stuff up for some of you. For the rest of you, I feel like you are probably being indiscriminate in how you're having sex. And again, we're taking note from the Virgo energy. And I don't mean that to come across as a judgment, because what I do and how I live as aligned with the Virgo archetype works for me and the work I need to do. other people just need to be getting it in. Like, and that's just the truth. That's a really important expression for you. So there's no judgment from me towards you on that. But I feel like things are seasonal, things are in flux, things change. And right now I feel like you guys are kind of losing power or losing creative energy sexually. Some of you, so those of you who don't reply to the first message. And I feel like the message for you is to channel your sexual energy elsewhere, is to rein it in and find discipline and focus. That may require some abstinence. You can set yourself a goal. You know, for some of you it might be a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months. Do you good to get aroused, and then to go and do something with that energy again, to let yourself get to that point of and then go create something. You know, do that piece of work you want to do. I might take this advice from myself, to be honest. So that is my that's my advice for you about the astrology and what's coming up. I'm now going to get into your intuitive tarot reading. Okay, Scorpio, so I'm going to be working with the Rider-Waite deck today. You will be the first group that I've read for with these cards, aside from myself. When I first started reading tarot, I didn't want to purchase these cards. I found the imagery too archaic and kind of disconnected to my own experiences and my own identity. But now, down the track, I find that these cards, they really have a purity of symbol and mythology that I actually really love. And when I first kind of worked with them and read for myself, the connection and the energy was instant, and the reading was so easy. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. So I decided to use these cards with you. I'm also, typically I would pull cards or shuffle, cut the deck and pull, but today I'm going to let the cards do that. I'm going to let the cards come out as the energy pulls, and we'll just do an intuitive reading like that and see how we feel about it. So, Scorpio, what's going on with you guys at the moment? What's your heart's desire? What are you focused on? What direction is your will? What do you really want, Scorpios? What's in your minds? What's in your hearts? Okay. Interesting. Wow. So many of, I guess, like, everyone's kind of thinking about some of the same things. You've got 10 of Pentacles in the world there. Okay. What challenges are you facing in your environment right now, Scorpio? What obstacles are aligned with your energy? What resistance is there? What's in your path, Scorpio? What boulders are there? Messages you have, Scorpio. Okay, interesting. Okay, and then some general advice cards for Scorpio based on these messages. So what advice do you have, Scorpio, based on these messages? I should actually let you see the cards. Excuse my phone. What advice do you have for Scorpio based on these messages? What advice is there for Scorpio based on these messages? Okay, guys. I may pull some clarifiers. Let's start with what we've got. Okay, love. So, in terms of what you want, what you're focused on, where your energy's at right now, you've got the World and you've got the 10 of Pentacles. The World, I'll turn it around so you guys can see. The World is a major arcana card. And so this is like a big theme or something ongoing and long-standing in your life right now. You've also got this 10 of Pentacles, which reads Island 10 is again the card of completion. The Pentacles are about things that you value. It's about things that you concretize and built in the material world. It can relate literally to your money and your finances, but it can just be kind of where you place your value. I was even going to say where your heart's at, but that would probably be more 10 of Cups. But this is the stuff that makes you feel fulfilled in the outer world. So for me, that's a lot to do with my home and my security around my home life. Like 10 of Pentacles would really represent the thing that is my home being set up the way I want, with the people I want with it, that with the aesthetics that I want, and hosting in the way that I want. So interestingly, guys, I feel like this 10 of Pentacles card in this world is actually easier for me to read if I look at them and not you. With this 10 of Pentacles in this world card, I feel like a sense of dissatisfaction with this stuff. There's either, it's expressing in two ways. Some of you actually have this 10 of Pentacles scenario, this thing that in the outside world would represent success, okay? So maybe you're in a solid relationship, maybe you've got the kind of job that you've been thinking about and worked towards and you've wanted, you know, you've got to a certain level of accomplishment in your life, but you're feeling some dissatisfaction with it, and the wild card sees you wanting to go out. You can even see the figure is looking away from the 10 of Pentacles. It's even like this thing that you've got and is established is kind of some level of boredom here. You want to go and experience some new things, you want to travel, you want to find your passions. But I think it really amazes me how the messages across the signs are similar but expressed differently, because I feel that you guys want to find what excites you now, as in you've got this stuff, but now you want to go to the next level, the next stage. You want more than this every day. And I think you have this sense, for example, that there is just something else that might give you the kind of fulfillment and the nourishment that you want in your life. So for example, I'm doing a PhD. I've been in academia and higher education for a really, really long time. I study critical race theory, and in terms of my career and my profession, like becoming an academic, being Dr. Leona Nicole Black would have been my 10 of Pentacles, and it was the thing that I definitely wanted. And yet I found towards the end of this process this growing dissatisfaction, and like there is something else calling to me. This spiritual journey started, and here I am doing tarot, and this is something that has expanded my world, something that excites me, something that nourishes me, something that is just drawing on all these different life experiences represented by these different figures around this card. You've got an eagle, you've got a lion, for example, etc., etc. I think you guys are in pursuit of something else, and that might make sense about why you are in this kind of, I won't call it hermit phase. That's a Virgo energy that I wouldn't necessarily say you're in the hermit phase, but you guys are withdrawn somewhat. You know, you're taking stock, you're thinking about what needs to change and what needs to happen to create this new environment that you're longing for. In terms of what kind of obstacles or restrictions are in your path with regards to that, you know, I don't see this as something that's negative. The opposition that you get in these two cards is about your growth. You know, it's about pushing you to expand. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like some of these difficulties just literally make life interesting. Like if you just wanted this thing and you got it immediately, you'd feel just as equally dissatisfied. So part of the work is what gives you the enjoyment, it's striving for it. So you've got, in terms of what's in your obstacle space, this 10 of Swords and the 8 of Wands. Another completion card here. Yeah, your cards are interesting, but I'll get to that. So I feel with this 10 of Swords that you have been through some pain, some betrayal. Oh, my apologies, guys. I didn't say how this would express for the other group of you. Rewind. So with this card, for those of you who haven't got this situation that is set up the way you want it to yet, and you haven't achieved this 10 of Pentacles thing, I think you're in the, having not reached there, I think you're starting to sense that it's not necessarily what's going to fulfill you. So you're starting to think, this thing that I want, that I'm going towards, whether it's a relationship, marriage, a baby, a business, a certain living condition, this thing that you thought you really wanted, that you're on the journey towards but haven't quite acquired yet, you're starting to think to yourself, perhaps it's not everything, okay? So it's not like, you know, okay, I don't want a relationship, but you're like, maybe a relationship isn't all that I want, and there are some other things on this journey that I'm going towards. So those are the two ways this message is expressing from my intuitive reading of it. So this is for all of you. I feel like you have been through some mental difficulty, some pain, some things have been said to you that's caused you, some heartache. It's maybe what's got you in this retreat mode at the moment. I feel like with this card that it represents the kind of death of the old self as well. Like you come to this point of complete, I don't know, like defeat. That's what this card kind of represents. Like you've been got. But it gives space for you to be reborn under different circumstances. And so I think this energy that you've been experiencing in your life and this obstacle has been necessary to make you look elsewhere. You've had to experience just this, what's the word that I would use for this energy? I feel like it's a blockage and being hemmed in. I think that's what it is. And, as a source card, it's a mental energy. And I would normally say, that it represents your thoughts and their thoughts are probably illusions. But no, I don't think these thoughts are illusions. I think these things really happen to you. And I think that these are real external trappings in a way, that's got you just pinned down in your situation, in your circumstance, and looking elsewhere. I think in terms of obstacles and challenge, you've got 8 of Wands, and with this energy, I feel, I said in another reading that this can be a card that's about travel, movement, communication. It's swift as well. It's really fast moving, and this would really match what you're desiring here. If you can even see in the way that you hold these two together, they're even, this woman in the world is actually looking towards this. I think you guys are longing for some really quick movement to get you out of this situation, and that energy is not here yet. It's coming, I believe. I do feel that for you, but I don't think that swift kind of opportunities, passion, creativity, like new energy that's coming in has not yet arrived, and that's what's creating this kind of obstacle space. In terms of your advice, Scorpio, I feel like you're kind of spilling emotion. That's what I would get from this Ace of Cups in reverse. Ace of Cups would represent a new beginning on an emotional level, emotional abundance, fulfillment, overflowing cup. But I think actually that you guys are kind of losing creativity, energy, emotion. I said that with regard to your sexual energy, for example. And I think that you are needing to take time. It's not even as though this is caused it. It's like these swords have punctured you and, made it so that you're really spilling out pain, really spilling out emotion, really feeling probably quite drained in some ways. And I think, Scorpio, that you need to take a time to bind up these wounds, to plug up the parts of yourself that are giving out too much. And I don't mean in a kind of service way, I mean in a losing way, as in like, there's a hole in you and you're losing water, you're losing your emotional strength. And it can also, I think this message kind of speaks to emotional instability, Scorpio, expressing yourself in emotionally unhealthy ways, just engaging in emotional activities that aren't helpful, healthy, whether it be deceit, lying, kind of just some messy shit going on in this card here that you guys need to find a way to patch up, because this is here for you. And this actually is a new beginning in a physical world, in the material world. It's, a new opportunity for you. And it's practical. It's not just in terms of your thoughts or your emotions, but it's saying that this opportunity that you want is here. Like it's coming to you. It's going to be on offer. But you can't make the most of it from this upturned cup, you know, because if you get this when you're in this space, you'll lose it immediately. You won't even be able to hold on to it. So you need to stay in your kind of secret space right now and do whatever is needed to kind of fix your emotional behavior, Scorpio. Act right, Scorpio, is what I'm trying to say. Um, there's a decision coming for you. That's the other element of this advice card. You are going to be given a choice, and I think that's important for you guys to know, is that it's not just going to be one opportunity or this one thing that presents itself to you, but there are going to be several things. And so it's really important that you do follow your heart, follow your intuition towards the thing that is calls to you most deeply. And that choice, to be honest, might even be between these two things. This choice here might be between you choosing between the status quo and what you've currently got going on in your life and what's coming next for you in the opportunities. And I can't tell you how to choose from that. That's up to you guys. But just be aware that there might be a need to leave something behind, as in you might not be able to have both things, and so you will have to decide on what you value most. And this, again, like I said, the 10 of Pentacles is a card of value, so you guys need to get clear about what it is you value in your life at the moment. Okay, Scorpio, so I didn't need to pull any clarifiers. I feel like that message was fairly clear. Like I said, me and this Rider-Waite deck, we got something going on. If you'd like a personal reading, like I said, this is a general reading, so the messages won't apply to everybody. And as you can see, as I'm describing and explaining it, I'm keeping it quite general and saying the different things it could relate to. In a personal reading, I will be able to get down to the specifics of your situation. Yes, this is about love, or this is about career, or this is about family. So if you would like a personal reading with me, you can hit me up on my website, NicoleBlack.com, or you can message me at leonanicole@gmail.com. I do readings in person, I do readings, I'm based in London, I do readings via Skype, via Facetime, and I also do email readings at a reduced rate. It's a free card reading, very quick turnaround if you're just looking for some very fast and direct clarity, guidance over a simple issue. So I love you guys. This has felt probably like one of the easiest readings I've done so far, and I think it's the kind of Mercury gone direct and Mars and Virgo energy is giving me that push. I'm even going to do another reading. I think Libra, you're up next. I'm sending you guys love. And I pray that this September is one that brings you opportunity and clarity around what you want to do. Stay in your secret space and act right. Love you guys.